Before we get into the main section of this video, I want to say that I'm not a short-term investor and that when I talk about what I believe will happen next, I'm talking about the long-term market cycles and the various indications and so on, which I'm watching out for and how I plan to stay ahead of the market cycle. So like many of you watching this video, I'm a believer in the long-term prospects of Cardano, and I believe that every day as the technology is getting better and more potential users are hearing about, considering and adopting Cardano, the value of the network is increasing. And although the increase in actual value when measured by adoption and utility and so on is fairly uniform and steady, I mean of course there are periods which are faster and slower than others, but on the whole the growth in value is in my opinion comparatively stable relative to the changes in the market price of ADA. And that's because in a perfect market we'd only have long-term investors who don't buy and sell every few days, or even long-term traders as well. But the reality is the market price is a function of the consensus opinion, and in the crypto market there are a lot of speculators who are buying and selling based upon news and potential partnerships and anticipated price rises or falls, and so this creates a lot of volatility in the market price of ADA. Right now we are in a bull run, there is a lot of euphoria in the market and prices are rising rapidly, and the truth is, although a correction will eventually happen, nobody knows when it will occur. Historically, if past bull runs in ADA offer any reliable indication, each bull run so far has brought about an increase in value of between 10 and 75 times the low of the bear market which preceded the bull run, which is admittedly a massive range, but the thing is the crypto market is still so young that the level of past data which we have access to is not very great, but some is still better than nothing. The low point of the last bear market was around 3 cents per unit, and although the multiplier between 10 and 75 is a very rough measure, I mean the real price rise may be above or below that range, I'd expect that the price in this current bull run would peak somewhere between 30 cents and about $2.30. And of course we are already well above 30 cents, but still well below $2.30. And so right now I'd say that we are somewhere in the middle. Although again I want to make it clear that the market could reverse tomorrow, or it could go well beyond the top level of the extrapolated range of 75 times. Maybe the market price will reach $5 or $10 before correcting. The only thing that I'm confident in saying is that a correction will eventually occur. And this is not a bad thing. And it may sound obvious that eventually a correction will occur, but very few investors appreciate that the money is made when you buy, not when you sell. Think about any asset class, not just crypto but real estate or the stock market. Everybody wants to get in when the prices are booming, and that's when we see the big influx of new investors. But the smart money knows to get in when there is a raging bear market and everybody has left, and that's why I think that the most important part of investing in the crypto market is preparation for the bear market. If an investor can get one good entry point, they can make 5 or 10 years worth of salary on a single investment. When I bought my ADA through my investment partnership, I bought for around 3 cents, which was effectively at the very bottom of the market. And hey, I'm not saying that I'm a genius. I did know that the market was in a bear run, but I didn't know that the particular point which I purchased was going to be the low. And so it was a combination of luck and good strategy as well. But anyway, that one investment, that single decision, has made over $200,000 for me and my investment partner. And I'd have to work for 5 years or so to get that kind of money, and it would probably take 20 years to save that much. And so I'm not saying that you'll definitely make money buying Cardano, that's not how this works, but I think that it's testament to the power of proper planning, and that's why I want to share my thoughts and preparations on what's likely to happen in ADA from here. As we are in a bull run in ADA and many other cryptos too, right now the smart investor is focusing on their preparations for the next part of the cycle, the market crash. While the majority of people aren't considering their next move, to maximize my chances of success, I am. And by the way, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm a huge long-term believer in the fundamentals of ADA, and I believe that the long-term value will reflect the huge levels of adoption and growth which I think will happen. And that's why for the most part my portfolio is a buy and hold position, but given that a correction is so likely to occur eventually, I've also decided to take small amounts of profit as the price rises, and the reason for that is because it would be a real shame and a missed opportunity to have had a gain of 20 to 1 in less than a year and then have a lot of it wiped out by a market crash. And that's why my strategy incorporates a both buy and hold plan, but also some profit taking along the way in small increments as the price rises. And by the way, this is just my strategy. Other investors may have different approaches altogether, and I'd love to hear yours in the comment section. Another thing which I wanted to discuss was the fact that there will be a lot of angry speculators spreading FUD in the market when the next market correction comes. A lot of new investors don't appreciate that corrections are as natural as the bull runs which precede them, and also a necessary part of the market cycle. But what happens is that during the bull run, a lot of speculators and new investors join the market, and unfortunately many don't conduct the necessary research, and a lot of people think that crypto is this easy way to make money where you can't lose. And if the last 3 or 4 months are the only experience or research that an investor has done, then it may seem that way because of the price rises, but nobody focuses on the 80 or 90% losses and the periods of stagnation after them. And so just as in the last bear market after the 2017 bull run, we will have a lot of angry speculators who lost money, blame it on ADA and not their own failure to conduct research and put in the effort. And if my memory serves me well, there were at least 5 occasions where I was told by people in the form of direct messages on social media not to buy ADA, that it was a joke and that it was now dead because of the losses from the crash. And actually that's one of the indications which signaled to me that the price was oversold. I mean, the consensus was so bearish and so scared that as a contrarian investor, I knew that it was likely a very good time to buy. Now the point here is really that if you're a long-term investor as well, you probably consider the risk and reward. And like me, you probably believe in Cardano's long-term prospects as well. But if you haven't ever witnessed a bear market in crypto before, I want to warn you that not only can they be financially brutal, but they can also be very tough from a psychological standpoint. There will be a lot of people telling you that you're wrong to hold on, and many will be very angry because of their losses, and they'll try to convince you to give in and make themselves feel better. And also bear markets can last for a long time. The last bear market ran for about 2 years before things started to pick up again, and so any decisions which you make should be rational decisions based upon your own judgments. And I just want to warn those who haven't lived through a crypto bear market yet, that they can get pretty ugly and pretty tough. And one of the reasons as to why I'm not buying any more ADA right now is because I've already bought quite a lot, and once again I find myself in a position where a decent portion of my net worth is held in ADA, and so I'm not buying any more at the moment, but that doesn't mean that another investor either should buy or shouldn't buy. Just be aware that we are in a bull run right now and prices could double, triple, quadruple or even go tenfold from here, but they could also crash tomorrow or next week. And such is the volatile nature of the crypto market and one of the things which makes the market an interesting place to be. If you enjoyed this video, I want to ask you to help me out and subscribe to the channel to help us grow and allow me to spend more time producing videos. Thanks for watching.